Prologue, the fractured hourglass. The Oasis of Eternal Shadows breathed its last. Helena stood amid the skeletal palms, her mother's journal clutched in hands cracked like sun-baked clay. The mirrors lining the dunes, once gateways to ancestral memory, lay shattered, their shards reflecting not the past, but a future, the Abyssal Tide, a maw of drowned cities and screaming currents, gnawing at the veil between worlds. Songwood's voice echoed through the sand, "Child of two dawns, your balance is a lie. Choose a side, or be torn asunder." Helena spat blood onto the dunes. "I choose neither." Chapter 1, The Syndicate's Gambit, Poisoned Sands. Metropolis X had become a tapestry of contradictions. Neon signs flickered beside gaslit alleys, spectral rain rusted steel but nourished spirit world ivy. Helena tracked the syndicate to the Clockwork Bazaar, a black market where time itself was bartered. Among contraband hourglasses and frozen screams, she found Gale, alive, but altered. His skin shimmered with abyssal residue, and his left eye pulsed violet. Gale, they're weaponizing the Tide Stone. Turning Arthur's relic into a key, for the Abyss. Their reunion fractured when syndicate agents ambushed them. Helena unleashed the Dreamstaff, summoning a sandstorm that aged attackers to dust. But Gale fled, leaving behind a dagger coated in abyssal poison, and a note, "They have Leora's shadow." Chapter 2, The Mirror of Shattered Truths. In the spirit world, Helena confronted the Weaver, a skeletal entity spinning threads of time. "Your mother's shadow anchors the tide," it hissed, gesturing to a mirror showing Leora's spectral form chained to a syndicate machine. "The price for her freedom? The dragon's seal. Burn it, and break Dominic's pact." Helena refused, but Songwood intercepted her exit. The dragon's scales dripped molten gold, his voice a growl, "The seal is my prison and my power. Break it, and I will raise the city to ash." Compromise, Helena siphoned a sliver of the seal's magic into her staff, buying time. Consequences erupted instantly, Dominic's fortress shook, and Arthur's trident flared with unstable energy. Chapter 3, The Abyssal Parliament, Whispers and Lies. The rift above Metropolis X birthed the Abyssal Parliament. The drowned matriarch, Euchelon's consort, her throne erect galleon. The Ember Child, a fiery echo of Helena's younger self. The Hollow Chronicler, a being of ink and forgotten histories. The Parliament demanded Helena merge the worlds to end the farce of balance. In defiance, she shattered her staff, releasing trapped spirits of the Oasis. Their wails destabilized the rift, but the matriarch laughed, "You have only hastened the tide." Chapter 4, The Covenant of Dawn, Sparks in the Storm. Helena founded the Covenant of Dawn in the ruins of a syndicate lab. Her allies. Evangeline, now obsessed with harnessing abyssal energy. Gale, his body decaying but his resolve ironclad. A spectral Leora, her shadow bound to Helena's will. Their first strike targeted the Syndicate's temporal refinery, where Arthur's Tide Stone powered a machine bleeding time. The battle cost Gale his arm, but he grinned as the refinery collapsed, "Worth it to see your eyes alive again." Chapter 5, The Price of Merging, A Keeper's Sacrifice. To stabilize the rift, Helena performed the sundering ritual, splitting herself. Living Helena, amber-eyed, brittle, allied with Arthur, navigating frozen districts where children aged to skeletons mid-breath. Spirit Helena, violet-eyed, ruthless, bargained with the Hollow Chronicler, trading memories of her mother for glimpses of the Syndicate's endgame. Reuniting her house left her marked, her left arm withered, her right shimmering with unstable magic. Songwood cornered her, smoke curling from his jaws, "You play at godhood. Let me show you its cost." Chapter 6, The Veil's Fracture, Echoes of the Past. The rift howled as Helena staggered forward, her mismatched eyes reflecting the storm of shattered timelines. The Syndicate's stronghold loomed ahead, pulsating with abyssal energy. Spirit Helena's sacrifice had granted her knowledge, Dominic's endgame was clear now. He sought to replace the world's core with the Abyss itself, erasing all history to forge a singular, controllable reality. Arthur met her at the gates, his trident now a vessel of unstable power. "If we enter, there is no turning back." Helena's grip on the dreamstaff tight. Then let's make history regret forgetting us. They breached the stronghold. Abyss-forged sentries collapsed under Helena's magic, their existence undone in reverse echoes. The deeper they went, the more time itself bled. Rooms flickered between past and present, showing glimpses of Helena's mother, Leora, whispering warnings lost to time. At the heart of the stronghold, they found the machine, a monolithic hourglass draining the last vestiges of balance. Dominic stood beside it, his form fractured, one half a man, the other a swirling abyss. You should have chosen, Helena. But now, I will choose for you. Chapter 7, The Abyssal Ascension, The Choice. Dominic shattered the dragon's seal, and Songwood screamed, his molten form unraveling as abyssal tendrils consumed him. The balance was broken. The abyssal tide surged forward. Helena had two choices. Seal the abyss by sacrificing her own existence, making herself the new veil. Merge the worlds, embracing the chaos and forging a new equilibrium. Arthur, barely standing, gritted his teeth. Choose, Helena. Or everything ends. Gale, his remaining hand trembling, whispered, there's always a third path. Helena closed her eyes, feeling the weight of every soul lost to time. The dreamstaff pulsed. A possibility formed. She shattered the machine, not to destroy, but to rewrite. The fragments of time and memory swirled, coalescing into a bridge, neither sealing nor merging, but stabilizing, a world where the abyss and reality could coexist without annihilation. Dominic roared in defiance as his form unraveled, unmade by the very tide he sought to command. Chapter 8, The Aftermath, A World Reborn. The storm quieted. The rift no longer devoured, it breathed, steady, a living entity rather than a wound. Helena collapsed, her body flickering between solid and spectral. Leora's voice wrapped around her. You did what I could not. You made a choice beyond destruction. Arthur knelt beside her. You're fading. She smiled, weary. Not fading. Becoming. The Covenant of Dawn stood victorious, but forever changed. Gale, now bound to the abyss, became its first keeper, ensuring it remained in balance. Evangeline swore to study the stabilized rift, to learn without greed. Arthur buried his trident, declaring his war over. And Helena? She stepped into the rift, becoming its guardian, its voice, its bridge. Epilogue, The Dreaming Horizon. Years passed. The world healed, though scars remained. The Oasis of Eternal Shadows flourished anew, its mirrors no longer prisons, but windows to possibility. A traveler arrived at the edge of the rift one day, speaking to the wind. Helena? A whisper answered, neither here nor there, but everywhere. I am the tide, and the tide remembers.